Well, hello, friends. Good evening. I suppose you've heard that Edwards has dropped out of the race, and so has Giuliani, from what I understand. And so it's in the Democratic Party, we're now basically talking about a primary, which is, well, it's essentially a joke, the whole process. But I wanted to share with you some information regarding the foreign policy stances of the remaining two Democratic candidates. I'm not going to cover Ron Paul here because his stances are pretty well known on foreign policy. He doesn't want any foreign intervention. And the the people who are left in the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, are basically what we're left with at this point. And so there was an essay that was published a couple of weeks ago by Stephen Zunes, who is a professor of politics and international studies at Berkeley. And he had a very good comparison on the foreign policy stances of these two candidates. Actually, he wrote the article also with Edwards still in mind. So I'm editing his essay here slightly because Edwards is now out of the race, and so the comparison is no longer valid, so to say. So I'm going to be comparing Hillary Clinton to Barack Obama. And so here's this essay. Voters on the progressive wing of the Democratic Party are rightly disappointed regarding the similarity in foreign policy positions of the remaining candidates. So, as I said, namely Clinton and Obama, with a realistic shot now at the Democratic Party nomination. Much understanding of what kind of foreign policy a potential president might have is by examining who is providing them with their information and advice on international affairs. So Senator Clinton's foreign policy advisors, the ones she has picked during her campaign, tend to be veterans of President Bill Clinton's administration. That's no big surprise, of course. Most notably, Secretary of State Madeleine Albright and former National Security Advisor Sandy Berger. Virtually all were strong supporters of the invasion of Iraq, and some, such as Jack Keane, Kenneth Pollock, and Michael O'Hanlon, also supported President Bush's recent surge. Her team also includes some centrist opponents of the war, however, notably former General Wesley Clark, or retired General Wesley Clark, I should say, and former Ambassador Joseph Wilson. Her most influential advisor and her most likely pick for Secretary of State is Richard Holbrooke, who prior to the invasion of Iraq insisted that the country posed a clear and present danger at all times, and insisted that Bush had ample justification to invade Iraq, and has written that those who protested against the war and foreign governments which opposed the invasion undoubtedly encouraged Saddam Hussein. Holbrooke has been severely criticized for his role as Carter's Assistant Secretary of State for East Asia in propping up the Marcos regime in the Philippines and supporting Suharto's repression in East Timor, as well as his culpability in the Gwangju massacre in South Korea. There is every reason to suspect that Hillary Clinton as president would pursue a foreign policy, much like her husband. Senator Barack Obama's foreign policy advisors include mainstream strategic analysts who have worked with previous Democratic administrations, such as National Security Advisor Brzezinski and Anthony Lake, former Assistant Secretary Susan Rice, and former Navy Secretary Richard Danzig. They have also included some of the more enlightened and creative members of the Democratic Party establishment, such as Joseph Cirinsoni and Lawrence Korb of the Center for American Progress, and former counterterrorism czar Richard Clarke. His team also includes the noted human rights scholar and international law advocate Samantha Power, author of the recent book on U.S. manipulation of the United Nations, and some of his advisors, Obama's advisors that is, however, have particularly poor records on human rights and international law, such as retired General Merrill McPeak, a backer of Indonesia's occupation of East Timor, and Dennis Ross, a supporter of Israel's occupation of the West Bank. In contrast to Clinton's foreign policy advisors, virtually all of Obama's advisors opposed the Iraq War from the beginning. The Nation magazine has written that members of Obama's foreign policy team also tend to be younger than those of the former First Lady, are more likely to stress soft power issues like human rights, global development, and the danger of failed states. And as a result, the Nation writes, Obama may be more open to challenging old Washington assumptions and crafting new approaches. Now, this is going to be probably a 1 or 2 part video here, because I'm going to try to go into, according to this essay, on very specific foreign policy issues. I'm not going to cover the domestic issues here, at least not for right now. I'm trying to get this out before Super Tuesday, which is, I guess, next week. So the specific issues I will cover in my next video. So if you're interested, please keep watching and look out for part 2. Thanks for listening.